Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to the live stream. Today is Wednesday, September the 11th, 2024. We are live from the World Trade Center complex here in New York City. This is the Oculus. As we look at the American flags, today is the 23-year anniversary of the September 11th attacks from 2001. Very unfortunate day in American history. And in this stream, we are going to commemorate that anniversary as we come across the 23-year anniversary from the September 11th attacks. This is the Oculus. We are inside the Oculus here. This is part of the World Trade Center Transportation Hub. We can see some commuters heading into New Jersey via the PATH trains, the Port Authority Trans-Hudson trains. I want to thank you all for joining the live stream as we commemorate the 23-year anniversary of the September 11th, 2001 attacks here in New York City and also in Washington, D.C. and Pennsylvania. It's hard to believe it's been 23 years since that very unfaithful day, but here we are once again. Alright, so we are inside the Oculus. This is also the Westfield World Trade Center Mall. This mall replaced the original that was destroyed during the September 11th attacks back in 2001. This mall is owned and operated by the Westfield Group, which also owned the original mall from the original complex. So right now we're just walking around here for a few minutes. We're going to head outside, check out the memorial, the National September 11th Memorial here at the World Trade Center complex. Check out what's going on there. Hard to imagine it's been 23 years since those events took place back in 2001. One of the darkest days in our country's history. The darkest day in New York City's history. Alright, so this complex here was designed by Spanish architect Santiago Calatrava. Look how beautiful it is there. Natural sunlight does come in here during the daytime. So we're going to walk around the complex here for a few minutes and then we'll head outside to the memorial. Check out the memorial pools. Thank you all once again for joining the live stream. Right here we can see some of the subway lines that run along the stop here. So we're going to head to the opposite end of the Oculus here as we make our way into the memorial pools. We're going to go up here and get a higher view of the complex here.
Please step on and off. This is the cooling air. not run or walk while flying.
So if you're new to the stream or just joining the stream, my name is Redstone Pro. We are live here in New York City. This is inside the Oculus, which is part of the World Trade Center complex. We are here to commemorate the 23-year anniversary of the September 11th attacks. We can see an American flag here draped over. That is what the complex looks like from up on this vantage point. Beautiful. Just gonna grab a picture here real quick. Alright, so we're gonna head on to that side of the Oculus. That will lead us right into the World Trade Center memorial pools and the National September 11th Memorial. So that's where we'll be heading right now. Alright, so let's head on over to that side there. So as I mentioned a few minutes ago, this mall here replaced the original mall that was destroyed during the collapse of the Twin Towers. This mall here is operated by the Westfield Group. As we take a look at some of the stores here lining the mall. Okay, and let's see here. Those back pages says, how would you say the foot traffic is today? More or less than expected. Considering it's the anniversary, I would say more than expected for sure. Definitely. Every year during the anniversaries, the World Trade Center complex does see a lot of visitors, of course. Family members, friends of those who perished in that disaster, as well as just ordinary visitors and tourists. We can see a police officer from the Port Authority Police Department. The entire complex here is operated by the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey. You can see a lot of foot traffic here as we come upon the World Trade Center side of the complex. Alright, and here we are. This is Greenwich Street. You can see plenty of folks out here tonight to commemorate the anniversary of the September 11th attacks. Alright, so this building right here, that is 3 World Trade Center. And we can see the tribute in light right there. That is the tribute in light. Those lights are meant to mimic the World Trade Center as they soar high into the sky. All right, this building right here, that is the September 11th Museum. And right over here we can see that is the One World Trade Center. That is One World Trade Center, also known as the Freedom Tower. That is the tallest building in the Western Hemisphere, measuring 1,776 feet up to the spire up there, which is lit up in blue. The height of the building being symbolic to the year the United States was founded, back in 1776. And right here to the right of it, we can see 7 World Trade Center. 7 World Trade Center, replacing the old 7 World Trade Center, which collapsed also during the attacks on September the 11th of 2001. All right, so we're gonna walk around here. You can see the amount of people out tonight on this commemorative day. Okay, so what you see here with the artwork, that is the foundation to 2 World Trade Center. 2 World Trade Center has yet to be built, but the foundation has been laid out, as you can see. There are no plans currently as to when this tower will be built, so it is stalled as of the moment right now. Alright, as we head back towards Greenwich Street, we're going to go into the National September the 11th Memorial, which contains the 2 memorial pools, each pool representing each of the Twin Towers that was lost during that day. As we take a look once again at the tribute in lights. This building right here, that is the Performing Arts Center. All right, so we are inside the September the 11th, the National September 11th Memorial. And coming into view, that is the North Pool. The North Pool is where the North Tower of the World Trade Center once stood. That is One World Trade Center. Look at this right here, wow. Hello, Anna Beatrice. Welcome to the stream, Anna. Yes, that was a very sad day. One of the saddest days in history. It's amazing to believe that it's already been 23 years since that day. That's a day that none of us will forget. That, you know, as long as we were alive that day, you would never forget that day. if I could use my flashlight here. Okay, that is, let's see, that is Christopher Moore Cuff, one of the victims of 9/11 here. May he rest in peace. Look how beautiful those wall poles are. That is the original footprint of the Twin Towers. This is for one World Trade Center, which once stood at the site. The North Tower was the first tower to be struck by an airplane. That was around right before 9 o'clock that morning. Amazing. All right, if you're just joining the stream, welcome to the stream. My name is Redstone Pro. We are live in New York City. This is the World Trade Center complex. We are here to commemorate the 23rd anniversary of the September 11th attacks from 2001. As you can see, plenty of people are out here to pay their respects to all of those lost during that unfaithful day in 2001. We have a flag here from Italy. Wow. I've been coming out here almost every year since 2001, or 2002 rather, when the first anniversary occurred, and you can definitely feel the mood here. It's always very somber and sad. I remember that day very well. I was 18 years old at the time in 2001. I was heading to school. I was a senior back in high school. It was I was in the 12th grade, senior year in high school, at the New School for Arts and Sciences back in the Bronx, up in the Bronx. Paul Dawson says it was a military plane. They had no windows, they had no markings. Eyewitness in Manhattan. Well, there's been a lot of conspiracy theories as to what exactly happened here. There are folks who will even say that nothing ever occurred here, but obviously something did occur here, and it was a pretty big tragedy, whichever way you believe in. Regardless of what you believe happened here, there was a big tragedy. All right, we can see some white roses here, a whole lot of it here. All right, let me see if I can read a few of the names here that's inscribed. Okay, and IK9 says, have I been up to the World Trade Center observation deck? Yes, I definitely have. I was there last year. It's right up there, way up there. You can see the observation deck. It's up on the 103rd floor, if I'm not mistaken. And hello, my brother in the chat. Hello, thank you for being here. Angie says, beautiful view. Thank you so much. All right, so the observation deck is way up there. I have been there. I was there last year. You can go back on my channel and take a look at that. Alright, so let's see if we can see some of the names inscribed here. There are many names here. Let's see. Okay, we got Lydian Caceres. Over here we got Rebecca Lee, can't see the last name there. Rebecca Lee Kobori, I think it says. We have Jack Charles Aaron. Charles William Matters. Over here we have Palmina Delegati. Just some of the names here. This is from the One World Trade Center. Wow. That's an incredible thought here, just seeing this here. The views from up there are amazing, unbelievable. You get 360 views from the observation deck. Okay, so right up here we can see 4 World Trade Center, and to the left of that is 3 World Trade Center, as well as the Tribute and Light. It's a very peaceful place here. Very peaceful, very quiet, very somber as well. Alright, so this is where the North Tower of the World Trade Center once stood. One World Trade Center. One World Trade Center was the first tower to be struck that morning. It was the second tower to collapse that morning also. As we continue looking around here, the National September the 11th Memorial. Drew says, beautiful place to pay their respect. Definitely. Okay, here it is with the flashlight. We have Vincent M. Ballin Jr., Salvatore Guido, Virginia Elizabeth Fox. We have Douglas John Fanum, Alexander H. Chiang. Let's see what else we have here. Jeanette Louise Lafon Menicino. We have here John M. Rigo. Oh, my gimbal. Oops. Let me fix that real quick. Okay. James J. Hobbin. Right up here we have Barbara Mary. Can't see the last name there. Don't want to move the rows here. Barbara Mary Habib. There you go. And Chris. Hello, Chris. Hello, cool kid. Hello, everybody. As we take a look at some of the names here inscribed on the panels here for the North Pool. This is the North Memorial Pool, the North Tower. Patricia A. Cody, Nina Patrice Bell. We have Christy A. Adamo. Laura Maria Longong. Michael Henry Way. And Milton Clark says good night. Thank you, Milton, for being on the stream. All right, here we have somebody here from Colombia. His name was Danny Correa from Colombia. Many, of course, many nationalities represented here, of course. The victims, they came from over 100 countries from around the world, of course. It was a tragedy that affected not only the United States, but also affected the entire world. Right here we have Monica Ann Lyons. Sharon M. Balcom. It's just a very powerful site here. All right, so the time now is 8:17 in the evening here. Temperature is 70 degrees Fahrenheit. As we continue walking around the site here, I want to thank you all for joining the live stream as we commemorate the 23rd anniversary of the September 11, 2001 terror attacks that took place here in New York City and also in Washington and Pennsylvania. And may they all be close to God indeed. May they all rest in peace. May the Lord watch over their souls. They will never be forgotten. All right, so we're going to cross here. This is looking north. Never forget, says Henry J. Okay, right here we have, let's see who we have here. This is Andrew Fisher. Andrew Fisher perished in the September the 11th attacks. May Andrew Fisher rest in peace. We'll never forget him as well. And of course, we stand together even to this day. All right, let's take a look at the field of names here. We have Stephen Kevin Thompson. Let's see, what other names can I see here? Christopher James Hanley. We have Joseph Matai. Chantal Vincelli. Oh, my gimbal. Gotta adjust my gimbal here. All right. We have Wayne Terrio Davis. Wow. Just amazing here. All right, so this is the North Pool. This is the North Pool that represents the North Tower of the World Trade Center, One World Trade Center. And right up there we can see One World Trade Center, the New York Tower, rising high above the site here. Alright, so that's a look at the North Memorial Pool, which represents the victim lost, all of the victims lost in the North Tower. So thank you all once again for joining the live stream. My name is Red Storm Pro. We are live in New York City. This is at the September the 11th National September 11th Memorial, as we commemorate the 23-year anniversary of those attacks back in September 11th, 2001. One of the darkest times in our nation's history and in world history for that matter. Those of you alive that day will never forget what you were doing, where you were that day. And right over here, we're coming across the South Pool. The South Pool, this is where the South Tower once stood. This is the footprint of the South Tower, 2 World Trade Center. 2 World Trade Center was the second tower to be hit, to be struck by planes. And it was also the first tower to collapse. We got a reef right here. Okay, so we have the Association of Flight Attendants honors our crew members, heroes of flights. And you can see those are the 4 planes involved. It was United Airlines Flight 175, United Airlines Flight 93, American Airlines Flight 11, and American Airlines Flight 77. And of course, we will never forget. And down here we have, let's see who we have here. This is Jesus Sanchez. Jesus Sanchez looks like he was a passenger aboard Flight United 175. That is Jesus Sanchez. He was a passenger. I'm not sure if he was a passenger or a crew member, but he was aboard that Flight 175. Let's see if I can get some information here. Let's see here. Okay, so United Airlines Flight 175, which Jesus Sanchez was a passenger. That's the plane that struck the South Tower. So United Airlines Flight 175, that plane struck the South Tower. This is where the South Tower stood. Oh yeah, the lights are right up here. Can't really see it through the trees, but you can see it right there. That's the tree view right there. We'll definitely get a better look at that in a few minutes. Milton Clark, hello Milton. The time is 7:24 in Jamaica. Hello to everybody back in Jamaica. Thank you for joining the live stream. Alright, so this tree right here that you see is lit up in blue. This is known as the survivor's tree. Okay, so this is the survivor's tree right here. This tree was located in the original complex. It was recovered. It was recovered and actually survived. They were able to replant it, and as you can see, it is continuing to bloom and it is very much alive. So that's why they call it the survivor's tree. It's quite amazing story here. And look how much it has grown in the years since. So that is known as the survivor's tree up there. And Gusi Hernandez, hello from Mexico. Saludos para todos en México. Bienvenidos. Bendiciones desde México. So as they said in Spanish, this is the survivor's tree. They were able to recover this tree from the wreckage of the Twin Towers, and they were able to replant it. And as you can see, it's still blooming to this day. Quite an incredible story. Oh, what's up?
Thank you.
As we take a look at another angle here of the survivor tree. All right, thank you all once again for joining the live stream as we commemorate the 23-year anniversary of the September 11th attacks here in New York City at the World Trade Center complex. And hello, Simon from London. Okay, thank you, Jules, for joining the stream. All right, so we're gonna head back into the the South Pool here, the South Memorial Pool. Very peaceful scene here, very serene, very calm. All right, right here we have a flag from France and Italy. Amazing. Okay, so right here we have Kevin M. O'Rourke, Walter C. Hines, Walter C. Hines. These are members of either the NYPD or the FDNY. New York City lost 343 firefighters from the FDNY that day. That is the single greatest loss of life for the in history affecting firefighters.
What's
343 firefighters were lost that day. That's an astonishing loss for a single department. And right here we can see one of them right here. His name is Michael John Auden. He was from Ladder 35 of the FDNY. May he rest in peace. Thank you so much for serving your city. All right, so the names you see here, these are first responders, firefighters, and police officers. Alright, so this is the South Memorial Pool. This is where the South Towers once stood. This is the original footprint of the South Tower to World Trade Center. 2 World Trade Center is where the outdoor observation deck stood atop the tower. As we take a look at more of the names here of the first responders lost that day, we have, let's see, Timothy Sean Haskell, Michael E. Roberts, David Holdeman, and right here we have Andrew F. Fredericks. Oh, Andrew Fredericks. Okay, yeah, Andrew Fredericks. Richard Fitzsimmons. Right here we have Sergio Gabriel Villanueva. Sergio Gabriel Villanueva. Right up here we have Anthony Rodriguez. Robert J. Minaro. Every one of these folks here, they are heroes in our hearts. We will never forget them and their sacrifice. They paid the ultimate price and they gave their life saving others. Thank you all. You will never be forgotten. Just the countless amount of names here. And right over here we have, let's see who we have up here. These are members of the police department, the NYPD. Paul Talty was a member of the Elite Emergency Service Unit, Truck 10. You made the ultimate sacrifice on 9/11. We celebrate your life and cherish the memories forever in our hearts and always in our minds. Lord Barbara, Paul, Lauren, and Kelly. And you can see these are members of the NYPD that were lost that day. The department lost around 20 officers, I believe. Police officer Morris Smith, there's actually a picture of her trying to save others. I believe she was in the middle of evacuating other folks when she herself was killed. There is a picture of her that have circulated on the internet in the years since. Let me see if I can find it here. Let me see if I can find her here. Okay, yeah, there's the picture right here of Morris Smith. Let me turn my flashlight off. Okay, so there's a picture of Morris Smith here. That's her right there. She was helping to evacuate others. That is her right there. Police officer Morris Smith. So that's her saving others from the World Trade Center. And that's her right up here. That's her right there. Yes, it definitely still, every year, no matter how many years go by, it'll always feel like it was yesterday. It's been 23 years already, it's hard to believe, but, you know, it feels like it's still yesterday, you know. When you have a tragedy of this magnitude, you know, it'll always feel like it was yesterday. All right, we got members here of the Port Authority Police paying their respects. The World Trade Center complex is operated by the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey. And they have their own police department, as you see here. Those are members of the Port Authority Police. The Port Authority Police Department, they lost a big amount of officers that day. Not sure the exact number, but it's around maybe 40 or 50 officers from the Port Authority Police officers, from the police department that was lost that day. More than the NYPD. All right, so we're going to visit the Firehouse right over here, right across the street from the World Trade Center complex. All right, this is Greenwich Street, so we're going to cross Greenwich Street. As we look back at the National September the 11th Memorial. Looks like we have a little candlelight vigil right here. I do live in New York, yes, I live here in New York City. Born and raised in New York City.
Careful, careful.
All right, so these folks here, they're having a little candlelight vigil.
Hold the candle and the flag, hold the flag, hold the candle, hold the flag.
Okay, and Angie says that they had pizza right next to the fire station. Yes, that pizza shop is still there, as we can see. It is still there. And the Burger King. The Burger King is there as well. I'm not sure, you guys might have seen the Burger King in the videos from 9/11, but that Burger King is still there as well. Right along Broadway. Church Street, I believe that is. Yeah.
That's actually like an active fire. If there's a fire, we can't.
Okay, so that is the pizza shop right there. That is Pronto Pizza that Angie just mentioned. All right, so this is Church Street right over here. All right, this big building right here, that is One Liberty Plaza. Back on 9/11, One Liberty Plaza was in danger of collapse, but it never did collapse. There were fears that the building was about to collapse. But as you can see, the building is standing. And right across the street, we have Zuccotti Park, which we are going to visit right now. So we're going to look at Zuccotti Park real quick, and then we'll head back down towards the Firehouse. Zuccotti Park is where many family members and friends gather to commemorate the day. Although most would have been here in the morning. Alright, so this is Zuccotti Park. I don't see anything going on here. But usually on the mornings, this is where family members of those lost, family members and friends would gather to pay their respects. Alright, let's see what else here. Those back pages says something that rarely gets something that rarely gets talked about when it comes to 9/11, the homeless. So many died that day. They lived in the mall and throughout the World Trade Center area. Very interesting fact. Okay, so this is Zuccotti Park. We're going to walk along here to the other side of Zuccotti along Broadway, and then we'll head back towards the Firehouse. Alright, so this is Broadway. Alright, so there is nothing going on here at Zuccotti Park, but like I mentioned a minute ago, this is where family members and friends of those lost would gather here to pay their respects. That would have been early in the morning today, as the names were being read. The World Trade Center Spear, that will be, I will definitely show that a bit later in the stream, but we'll definitely stop by there as well. So we'll definitely be taking a look at that. That is atop the Liberty Park. We'll look at that. I used to work at Chameleon on Maiden Lane, says those back pages. Okay, so now we're gonna head over to the Firehouse. This is the Burger King. Burger King, that is the original Burger King that you might have seen in the in news footage. It is still here. It is still in business. It is a beautiful night here in New York City. As it was back in 2001, it was a very beautiful day. Crystal clear skies, not a cloud in sight. Perfect weather. Unfortunately, it was overshadowed by the disaster that day. Okay, so this is Pronto Pizza that Angie mentioned. It is still here. All right, here we are at the Firehouse. This is ladder company 10 and engine company 10. And they are indeed still standing stronger than ever. These guys are everyday heroes. It's hard to believe that the FDNY lost 343 firefighters that day. That was the greatest single loss of firefighters, of lives in firefighter history. And many more firefighters and other first responders have been lost due to illness working at the site here. Alright, so we're gonna look around here. Let's see what we have here. Detective Stephen McDonald. Forgiveness is not an occasional act, it's a permanent attitude. And right over here we have a memorial dedicated to the fallen firefighters and other first responders. You can see a picture right here of the all of the members of the FDNY that were lost that day. 343 names in total. Just a staggering loss that day for the department. Make you stand right here so I can get a closer look. Okay, we have Heather in Pennsylvania. Hello, Heather. Hello, Ivan Hernandez. Everything is good here in New York City. Hope everything is good where you are as well. Alright, let's see what we got up here. We have, let's see, funeral services for Harry John Rowland, the World Trade Center man. That took place back in June. And you can see all of the members of the FDNY that were lost that day, 343 of them. FDNY lost so many members that day. It's just incredible the amount of folks that were lost that day. Each firefighter that you see here is a hero. They gave their life trying to save others.
September 11th, 2001.
Just a staggering loss for the department that day. And we have Clayton from Australia. Hello, Australia, from the land down under. Thank you so much for joining the live stream as we commemorate the 23rd anniversary of the September 11, 2001 terror attacks here in New York City and across the United States in Washington and Pennsylvania. You can see the brothers reaching out for each other. That looks like a mobile command center that was set up. As you take a look at some of the names here that were lost: Vincent Giamona, John F. Ginley, Jeffrey C. Guja, Joseph P. Galixon, Vincent G. Halloran, Harvey Harrell, Stephen G. Harrell, Michael K. Healy. We have William McGinn, Paul R. Martini, Peter C. Martin, Charles J. Margiotta, Joseph G. Levy, Ronald T. Kerwin, Anthony M. Jovic, Timothy B. Higgins. Just some of the many names here that are inscribed on this memorial wall here. And hello to Wes. Happy birthday, Wes. Wes was 13 years old when this tragedy took place. I was actually 18. I was 18 years old. I was a senior in high school back in 2001. It was my in the 12th grade. That is from the Wounded Warrior Project. It's a beautiful wreath. Beautiful wreath for all of the heroes lost that day. And Katia Acevedo. Katia Acevedo was 23 years old. As long as you were old enough to remember that day, you would never forget that day. You will always remember where you were and what you were doing. Okay, down here we have, let's see who we have down here. This is Daniel Noonan. Daniel Noonan passed away back in July of this year. Many folks were lost in the years since to illness related to working at the site here. It was a very toxic site. Of course, many folks have since passed away from illness, mainly cancer, other related illnesses. And the amount of people that continue to be lost to today is actually very staggering. Thousands of folks that worked at the site, whether you were a first responder or a rescue worker or volunteer working in the recovery and the rescue efforts, a lot of folks came down with either injury or illnesses, and so many folks have since been lost as well. So this tragedy continues to take lives years later. And right here we can see 343. That is the number of fighter fighters from the FDNY that was lost that day. The bravest of the bravest. They will never be forgotten. They are our heroes to the end. As we look at the folks looking at the wall here, and right above we can see the tribute in lights. Look how beautiful that is, soaring high into the sky, high into the heavens. Okay, so right now, while we look at the wall here, I'm going to briefly go through a timeline of what happened here at the World Trade Center during that fateful day, that morning back in 2001. Okay, so at 8:46, American Airlines Flight 11 crashed into the North Tower. That plane had 76 passengers, 11 crew members, and 5 hijackers, which included Mohammed Atta and Abdul Aziz Omari. They were 2 of the most notorious hijackers from that day. That was a flight from Boston's Logan Airport to Los Angeles. So at 8:46, Flight 11, American Airlines Flight 11 crashed into the World Trade Center. That was the North Tower. And here's a picture of that. Let me see if I can find it. There it is right there. That is the North Tower being struck. Okay, let's see what else we have here. At 9:03 a.m., this was 17 minutes after the first plane had struck the North Tower. At 9:03, American Airlines Flight 175 crashed into the South Tower. That plane had 51 passengers. 51 passengers, 53 passengers, 6 crew members, and 5 hitchhikers. Oh wait, I got the wrong information here. Let me go back. At 9:03, United Airlines Flight 175 crashed into the South Tower. That plane had 51 passengers, 9 crew members, and 5 hijackers. That was a Boston to Los Angeles flight, just like the first flight. Let me show you a picture of that. There's a picture right there. There's a picture of American Airlines or United Airlines Flight 175 as it crashed into the South Tower. Okay, at 9:37 a.m., American Airlines Flight 77 crashed into the Pentagon, which is located outside of Washington. That plane had 53 passengers, 6 crew members, and 5 hijackers. That was a Dulles, Virginia to Los Angeles flight. So it was heading from Dulles International Airport in Virginia to Los Angeles, California. So that occurred at 9:37. And here's a picture of that right here. That picture was taken from a surveillance camera, closed circuit TV camera, as the plane crashed into the Pentagon. All right, at 9:59, the South Tower collapsed. The South Tower was the second plane to be hit. It was the first tower to collapse. That occurred at 9:59 p.m. or a.m. I should say, 9:59 a.m. That was 56 minutes after it had been struck. And right here we can see the South Tower collapsing. There's the South Tower as it was collapsing. Okay, at 10:02 a.m., United Airlines Flight 93 crashed into an empty field in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, which is about 78 miles southeast of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in Somerset County. That plane had 33 passengers, 7 crew members, and 4 hijackers. That flight is known for the rebellion that the passengers fought against the hijackers. There was a revolt aboard the plane, and they were able to crash the plane into an empty field in Pennsylvania, thus preventing a bigger tragedy. It was believed that that flight was heading either to the U.S. Capitol building in Washington or the White House. So the passengers on that plane were heroes that day. They saved many lives while sacrificing their own. They gave up their lives to prevent a further bigger tragedy from occurring. At 10:28 a.m., the North Tower collapsed. That is One World Trade Center. That was the first tower to be struck. That tower collapsed at 10:28. And let's see if I have a picture of that. All right, we can see that is a picture of the North Tower collapsing. That is the North Tower, One World Trade Center, as it was collapsing. Okay, let's see. At 5:30 p.m., 7 World Trade Center collapsed. 7 World Trade Center collapsed after having been on fire throughout the day. It caught fire as the other twin towers were collapsing. That tower collapsed at 5:30. Here's a picture of that building right there. That is the original 7 World Trade Center as it was collapsing in the afternoon. All right, so all in all, this tragedy, let's see. The official death toll from 9/11 is 2,977 people. Of those people, 1,600 died in the North Tower, 1,000 died in the South Tower, 125 people died at the Pentagon, and 265 people died aboard the 4 planes. Those include the 19 hijackers. 343 FDNY firefighters were lost that day, and 71 law enforcement officers were lost that day, including members of the NYPD and Port Authority Police Department. So that is a timeline of what occurred here at the World Trade Center, as well as in Washington and Pennsylvania. Okay, let me go back to some of the comments here. Jules was 34. She remembers every second of that. Trying to see what else I missed here. Martius Thomas, love you, Dad. Wish I could see you again, but I can't. I'm so sorry for your loss. Wow, I can only imagine losing somebody in this tragedy. But it seems that either we knew somebody that had been lost, or we knew a family member or friend of who were related to a victim here. Okay, as we continue looking at the folks here, let me tell you where I was on 9/11. I was in high school. It was my senior year in high school. I was 18 years old at the time, 2001. I was 18 years old. It was my senior year in high school. I was attending the New School for Arts and Sciences up in the South Bronx. I was running late that morning, heading into school, so I remember taking the subway to the school. I remember getting off at the stop I had to get off, and right as I was getting off the stop, you could see the big trail of smoke. There was a big trail of smoke out in the distance in the direction of Lower Manhattan, and I knew right away that something had occurred at the World Trade Center just by looking at where the smoke was coming from. It was unlike anything you might have imagined. So I remember getting off the subway. I was about to board the city bus, and I could see the smoke all the way in the distance. At the time, both towers had already been struck by a plane, so the sky had already been filling up with all the smoke. It was a long trail of smoke. You could see it for miles and miles all around. And it was a day I'll never forget. As I was heading into school, I remember one of my teachers mentioning it about 5 minutes later.
Stop lying, man.
She actually said that, have you guys heard about what had occurred? And right there and then I knew that something terrible had occurred. That's when everything stopped. Our teachers started, she stopped teaching, and everything just went into a standstill. Okay, we have Enzo. Hello, Enzo. Hello everybody that are just joining the stream. Hello Ryan. Ryan was 11 years old. he was at school that morning. Yeah, so it's my senior year in high school. I was heading to school that morning. Just make it real quick. I was heading to school that morning. I remember seeing the smoke out in the distance in the direction of Lower Manhattan and the World Trade Center. And everything just stopped. The transportation had stopped. The subway, the bus system had stopped. I was actually stranded in school for a few hours until my dad had to come pick me up in his car. And I remember driving up to the Bronx. It was so eerie. Everything just seemed so quiet, and there was barely any traffic out on the roads that day. So that's a day none of us will ever forget. All right, we got some first responders here. Right outside of O'Hara's restaurant and pub. And Ivan Hernandez says he was 2 years old on 9/11. All right, we can see the tribute in light once again. It's hard to believe, yes, Enzo, yes. A tragedy of this magnitude, you know, you're always going to think that it occurred yesterday, even though it's been 23 years already. Hard to imagine it's been that long. It's always been, you know, in the back of your head, thinking, wow, it's been that long already. It's a tragedy that forever changed the world. Okay, and Matthias says my dad died in 2003. He was a firefighter, and he was climbing the stairs, and he called me and said, "I love you." That was his last words. He said to me, "I wish I could see him. I am so sorry. I am so sorry for your loss." Okay, so right now we're gonna head, I believe, let's see, this is Liberty Park. I'm not sure if I could get up here this way. Alberto Castrillo, hello Alberto. Mis respetos a todas las víctimas, en especial los hermanos del fuego del FDNY, caídos en cumplimiento del deber de un bombero voluntario desde Argentina. Jamás los olvidamos. Gracias, Alberto, por su comentario. Okay, so this is Liberty Park right here. Yeah, we can get in this way. All right, so this is Liberty Park. We are going to look at the spear from the original World Trade Center complex. And Ryan says, even though everyone lost their loved ones, even though this nation can remain strong, every tragedy is not as bad. It's not as badly like what happened in 2001. No, 2001 was about as bad as any tragedy could get. And it's a day that hopefully won't repeat itself one day. All right, so this is Liberty Park. We are going to take a look at the spear.
The Greek government gifted to the church.
Okay, so this is the St. Nicholas Greek Orthodox Church. This is the newer church that replaced the original that was destroyed during the collapse of the World Trade Center towers. This church here, having been opened within the last 2 years, I believe it's been. I believe it opened about 2 years ago. So this is the newer church that destroyed the original that was destroyed, that replaced the original that was destroyed during the 9/11 attacks. Okay, so we are going to stop by the Sphere that was located in the plaza of the original World Trade Center complex. It is right over here to my left. Here it is right here. Okay, so this sphere was located in the original World Trade Center plaza. It was recovered during the recovery operations. This is how it appears now. And right here we can see this is what the sphere looked like in its original location at the World Trade Center Plaza. That is what it looked like back then. And this is what the sphere looks like after having been recovered from the wreckage. And right here we can see how it looked in the plaza. This sculpture stood as a symbol of world peace through world trade at the center of Austin J. Tobin Plaza between the Twin Towers. The Port Authority commissioned Fritz Koenig to create this 25-foot bronze sculpture, originally titled Groby Kudekurdslide, New York, but commonly referred to as the Sphere. Following September 11, 2001, the Sphere took an additional meaning of hope and resilience when it was recovered from the rubble at Ground Zero and relocated to Battery Park. Donated by the AXA Nordstrom Art Insurance Corporation, the Sphere was returned to the World Trade Center here in Liberty Park in 2017 in memory of those who died on September 11, 2001. So there it is, the Sphere as it appears now. As we look at the 1 World Trade Center and 7 World Trade Center to the right of that. I hope that my father, who passed away in 2015, gets to meet your father, says Todd. Todd, I'm sorry for your loss. My thoughts are with you and your family through this time of loss. I lost my dad 3 years ago, and believe me, it's a very tough loss. It's very hard to to digest that thought. To anybody who has lost a family member, a parent, mother or father, brother, sister, my thoughts are with you all. And Yvonne says, my dad passed away in 2013. Losing a family member is never an easy thing to swallow. It's a very difficult time. Alright, we can see the tribute and light. We are going to walk towards the tribute and light right now. Take a closer look at these lights. Okay, and Juice says, have they now built all of the buildings? 2 World Trade Center has yet to be built. So pretty much every building that was a part of the plan has been rebuilt, but 2 World Trade Center has been stalled for now. Not sure when that's getting built. Hopefully it'll get built one day. Alright, so we're gonna go back down this way. Alright, so we're going to head back to Greenwich Street. We are going to take a close look at the Tribute and Light, which is located about 2 or 3 blocks south of here. My thoughts and prayers for everyone that lost their loved one. God is always watching, says Ryan. Yes, indeed. And he's also watching over everyone that lost their life here at the World Trade Center. So thank you all once again for joining the live stream. My name is Storm Pro. We are live in New York City as we commemorate the 23rd anniversary of the September 11, 2001 attacks here at the World Trade Center complex. If you are new to the channel, make sure to like and subscribe. It would mean a lot to me if you do. Okay, so right now we are heading to the Tribute in Light. We are going to get a closer look at those lights, which pays homage to the Twin Towers. Those lights are meant to replicate where the Twin Towers would have stood as it soars into the sky. Angie says, are they only lit for 9/11? Yes, they are only lit for one night, which is tonight. They are lit till dawn, I believe, till 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, this is only a once a year event occurrence. You can see the lights right up there, high above. Thank you all for joining the live stream. My name is Storm Pro. Once again here in New York City at the World Trade Center complex. Although right now we're walking towards the Tribute and Light here in Lower Manhattan, as we remember and commemorate the 23rd anniversary of the September 11th, 2001 attacks.
Whatever.
Okay, so right now we are heading to get a closer look at the tribute and light. This is the only night of the year in which they are lit. All right, let's look back at the lights. Look at that. Let me just widen the shot here. It's incredible. Look at that. Each one of those beams represent each one of the twin towers. Okay, and Jose Luna Ministries says, God bless everyone in the name of Jesus, amen. Thank you, Jose. And Drew says, with your live stream, I feel like I'm there with you. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Drew. Thank you for being here on the live stream, and thank you for your support. Okay, so right here you can see where the where these lights are installed. We got many folks scattered here as well. And Damo says, Dios te bendiga New York City. Gracias, Damo, por estar aquí con nosotros. And right here you can see where the lights are installed. Right there. Look at this. Incredible. Okay, so some facts about the tribute and lights. Let's see. There are 88 xenon spotlights, 44 for each tower. Each spotlight consuming 7,000 watts. These lights can be seen for 60 miles all across in every direction. So you can see these lights from 60 miles away on a clear night. And they are put together by the Municipal Art Society. Just an amazing, amazing view here. So I'm gonna take a couple of pictures here. once again, these lights can be seen for 60 miles in every direction on a clear night. '88 xenon spotlights, 44 for each tower. And thank you, Todd. Thank you. This is the closest I've ever been to these lights, and they look amazing. Absolutely amazing as they light up the heavens. In tribute to everyone lost here at the World Trade Center. Spectacular. Alright, so I'm gonna pause here for a moment. Let's take a minute of silence here. Let's pay respects to everyone lost in the disaster of 9/11 here at the World Trade Center, at the Pentagon in Washington, and in Pennsylvania. So let's take a moment of silence to remember everyone lost here. God bless each and every one of those souls lost that day. May you all rest in peace. We will never forget you. All right. As we are back here, this is the entrance to the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel. You can see the folks gathered here to look at the lights. Amazing. And Enzo says, I am sad here because there are some Brazilians who don't respect people who lost their family members in this tragedy. Many Brazilians make jokes on this day. I am very sad. That's unfortunate, Enzo, very unfortunate. 9/11 affected victims from all over the world, affecting many countries. More than 100 people, more than 100 countries lost someone in this tragedy. And Solard says, we will never forget that day, even though I was born in 2009. So this tragedy affected victims from more than 100 countries. Spectacular view there with the flag. Okay, so right now we're gonna walk back to the World Trade Center sites. I'm gonna walk around there for a bit more, and then I will end the stream. So this is what the tribute and light looks like. right up close. Amazing. Let's just marvel at this site here because we only get to see it once a year. It is indeed stunning. This is absolutely amazing. Alright, so right now we're going to walk back to the World Trade Center site.
Country to money.
Alright, so thank you all once again for joining the live stream. It means a lot to me as you join me in commemorating this 23rd anniversary of the September 11, 2001 terror attacks, which took place here in New York City as well as in Washington, D.C. and Pennsylvania. And if Yvonne hasn't been to Lower Manhattan since 2017, you definitely have to come down here. You definitely have to come down here. Tonight would have been the perfect time to revisit Lower Manhattan. Alright, so we're back on Greenwich Street as we head back to the World Trade Center site. Okay, we have Zombie Demons. Thank you for showing us everything. Thank you, Zombie. Angie says this live stream means a lot to us. That cannot be there in person. Thank you. Thank you all for joining the live stream. Every one of your comments means a lot to me. Thank you all for joining the stream. Alright, as we continue walking along Greenwich Street, we are heading back to the World Trade Center sites. We're gonna walk around there for a bit one more time, pay one last respects to all of the victims, and then I will end the stream there. So the time now is 9:35 p.m. here in New York City. The temperature is 69 degrees Fahrenheit. We just ran into some traffic here. Okay, and the Robbie says, I remember watching the TV with my dad in shock. We'll never forget. Indeed, we will never forget. We'll always remember where we were and what we were doing that day. I myself, I was heading to school that morning. I was in, it was my senior year in high school, and I will never forget the sight of the smoke out in the distance from the Bronx. That smoke could be seen for many miles in all directions. You could have never missed it if you were out here in New York that day. Okay, we have Kaiju Prime. I was just a little baby and my dad changed the channel because that day was bad. It was one of the worst days in history, for sure. And thank you, Jules, once again for being on the live stream with me as We pay our respects to everyone lost that day. Okay, here's a shot of the complex. We have the One World Trade Center right up there. That is One World Trade Center, standing symbolically at 1,776 feet tall. It is the tallest building in the Western Hemisphere. And to the right of that, we have 7 World Trade Center. Right over here, we have the Brookfield Place complex, which was known as the World Financial Center. And Jose Luna says, do I make live streams of other parts of New York City? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I cover live events such as parades and other events as they happen. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and look for more. We got some vendors out here. Okay, Kaiju Prime just subscribed. Thank you so much, Kaiju. Thank you, thank you. All right, we got many members of the NYPD, of the FDNY and NYPD representing here. They're just having a good time, as you can see. Okay, Jose Luna, thank you. Thank you for the compliments. Angie says, I think everyone should watch and remember that day. We must never forget. And we will never forget that day. So you can see members here of the military. We have the armed forces here. We have members of the FDNY just having a good time here at the restaurant and pub. And we have Jacob from Miami, Florida. Thank you. Welcome to the stream, Jacob. Alright, so we have many first responders here who are enjoying their night while also paying respects to their fallen brothers and sisters. And happy birthday, Ivan. My birthday just passed. Okay, Ivan. Happy birthday to Ivan. Let's wish Ivan a happy birthday in the chat. And Todd says, I just subscribed to your channel. Thank you, Todd. Thank you, thank you. All right, so we're gonna take another look at the wall here. This memorial wall right outside FDNY, Ladder Company 10 and Engine 10. .343 is the number of firefighters that were lost that day from the FDNY. It was a staggering loss for the department. Not only did they lose that many firefighters, they also lost a ton of fire apparatus and trucks. And Angie's birthday was on, let's see, 4 days ago. Happy birthday, Angie. And Alberto says, let's see what he says. Mis respetos a todos los hermanos bomberos de Nueva York, de un bombero voluntario argentino, honor y gloria. Gracias, Alberto, por su comentario. And we have a little clip from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. Hello to everyone back in Canada. Happy belated birthday to Ivan and Angie. This is a gorgeous reef, by the way. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Look how beautiful this is. Very colorful, very patriotic. Paying respects to all of the fallen first responders. Okay, we have Angie who just turned 44, and we have Ivan who is 25. Happy belated birthday to you guys. Thank you again for joining the live stream. And we have Colleen from Connecticut, 45 minutes north of here. Rest in peace to all of the first responders, victims, their family, and friends. And we will never forget all of those lives lost on that tragic day here in New York City and across the United States in Washington and Pennsylvania. And let us not forget those that have been lost in the years since due to illness. We have lost many thousands of folks that worked here at the site in the recovery efforts and the rescue efforts. Many of those folks have been lost as well. So let's remember those folks as well. We have one lone candle right here. And Kaiju was 6 months old when that happened. And right here we can see every member of the FDNY that was lost that day. 343 firefighters in total. Just look at all of their faces. It's incredible. Each one of these individuals was a hero that day. Their memory will live on. Okay, and Todd says, my Uncle Jim was a firefighter in Nashua, New Hampshire for 20 years. He told me that he cried for 2 days straight on this sad day. Rest in peace, Uncle Jim. Wow. Sorry for your loss again, Todd. Your dad, or your uncle rather, was a hero for sure. Just like the firefighters that we see here. May he rest in peace along with everyone lost. And Kikoshi says, I was here in 2006. So every individual you see here is a firefighter that was lost on 9/11 from the FDNY. Just a staggering loss for the department that day. It was the single greatest loss of lives affecting fire department in history. And as we look here at the ladder company 10, engine company 10, we have some Marines here.
Donato. Yes. Donato. What? Over here. Oh, all right. Going that way. Wait. Go back inside the station.
I have a question. How many firefighters were lost from this particular fire?
Yes,
Six.
right there.
Wow. Okay. May they rest in peace. Okay, so 6 firefighters were lost from this particular firehouse on 9/11. This firehouse lost 6 firefighters, brothers and sisters, on that day. Okay, we're gonna head back to the memorial pools. So this particular firehouse here lost 6 members that day. 6 members, 6 firefighters were lost from this firehouse. May they all rest in peace. All right, thank you all once again for joining the live stream as we continue walking around the World Trade Center site on the 23-year anniversary of the September 11th, 2001 terror attacks. It was a day that forever changed the nation and the world. All right, so we're gonna stop by these 2 memorial pools once again. Okay, so this is the South Tower pool, the South pool. Many folks still out and about paying their respects. All right, let's take a look at the few names here. Michael W. Rowe. We have Charles C. Lawrenson. Albert Guinness Joseph. We have Titus Davidson. Todd Russell Hill. Alright, so this is the South Memorial Pool. This is where the South Tower of the World Trade Center once stood. This is the footprint of the tower to World Trade Center. That tower was the second building to be struck by plane, and it was the first building to collapse. Okay, Kakoshi says, what time is it in New York? It is 9:52 p.m. Kakoshi. 9:52. I could definitely feel the sentiment, Jules. This is always a somber time to visit this site here, especially on the anniversary. It is a day that will no doubt be etched in our minds forever. And Fat Tony from Australia. Hello, Fat Tony. Thank you for joining the live stream from the land down under in Australia. Thank you so much. Do you know what was built on the side of 7 World Trade Center? What was built on the side of 7 World Trade Center was the replacement tower, which is also 7 World Trade Center. Let me show you right here. It should come into view. All right, so right here we have 1 World Trade Center. That is the main tower in the complex, and to the right of that, that is 7 World Trade Center. That is the building that replaced the original 7 World Trade Center, which collapsed later in the day on 9/11. So that is 7 World Trade Center. That's the newer building. And right here, this is the 9/11 Museum. We have some New York State troopers right over here. This view here is absolutely mind-blowing. Wow.
This one's already about 25, 30 feet.
Okay, so once again, this is the Southern Memorial Pool. This is where the South Tower of the World Trade Center once stood. This is the footprint of that tower. The South Tower was the second building to be struck by airplanes. And it was also the first building to collapse. It was also known as 2 World Trade Center. The observation deck was located atop the tower. Why are the lights blue? They have always been blue, Kaiju. This tradition started back in 2002. They have always been blue. And Colleen says, growing up close to the city, spent many day trips going up into the towers. I cannot imagine how the firemen climbed towards danger with all of that gear. Yes, they had to climb all of those flights because the elevators were taken out by the impact of the planes. And many of those firefighters were actually able to reach the impact sites. It's amazing how they were able to do that with all of the gear and considering the height that they had to go up. Those firefighters were no doubt selfless that day. They put themselves first before anybody else. Okay, and thank you, Todd, for joining the live stream. I hope you have a good night. Thank you once again for joining the live stream. And Jasim says, never forget 9/11, and also fact, did you know World Trade Center 7 collapsed? Yes, it did. The Twin Towers collapsing resulted in 7 World Trade Center catching fire. That fire went burned throughout the day until it caused the tower to collapse, that building to collapse as well. Okay, so right now we're going to walk to the North Memorial Pool, which honors those lost in the North Tower. And Fat Tony says 10 Australians died in the 9/11 attack. The world feels your pain. Yes. 100 countries lost somebody on 9/11 that day. Over 100 countries. So this was not just an American tragedy, it was a worldwide tragedy that affected the entire world. Alright, so this is the North Memorial Pool. This is where one World Trade Center once stood, the North Tower. And Colleen says, I remember watching firefighters working on putting out the fires at Building 7. Well, that fire raged on all throughout the day, and they had no choice but to evacuate the building until it collapsed at 5:30 p.m. that afternoon. Yes, there is. There are 2 pools here. One pool representing each tower. And the underdog says, I'm still deeply saddened by this day, remembering all of the ones who were lost and all of the heroes that saved many lives. Thank you for letting us show our love and gratitude. Thank you, underdog. Thank you, thank you.
And it was like the safe house during 9/11. And there's a big tree in front of it. It's everything else smells.
Okay, Jules says many thanks. Really enjoy your live stream. 67 British citizens lost their lives on this sad day. And NG, I have not been to the Pennsylvania Memorial. No, I have not been there. Okay, so Jasim says, wait, so North and South and World Trade Center collapsed. What about 3, 4, 5, and 7? Those towers, while they didn't collapse, they were heavily damaged due to the debris that was raining down on those buildings. Those were the low-rise buildings of the complex. So those buildings sustained heavy damage from the collapse as well as fires. Fires did break out in those other buildings. Okay, what about 2 World Trade Center? We were just there a few minutes ago. That's the southern pool. So this right here, this is the northern pool. This is where 1 World Trade Center once stood. That is the North Tower. The North Tower was the first building to be struck. Okay, as we walk around the Northern Memorial Pool, thank you all once again for joining me on this live stream as we remember those lost on 9/11. This is the 23-year anniversary of those attacks. And Ivan Hernandez, yes, I do live in the Bronx. Yes, I live in the Bronx. Gotta represent the boogie down Bronx. Alright, so we're going to walk over to the survivor's tree, which we saw earlier. We're going to look at it one more time. Alright, from one fellow Bronx site to the other. We got 9/11 memorial related items here. Okay, so this right here, this is the survivor's tree, which we saw earlier in the stream. This tree here was recovered during the recovery operations from Ground Zero. They were able to replant the tree, and as you can see, it is still blooming to this day, 23 years later. Quite an incredible story. Yes, that is the tree. That's the tree you're looking at right now. This is called the survivor's tree. So once again, this tree was recovered from the World Trade Center complex during the search and recovery operations. They were able to save the tree. They were able to replant it, and here it is. You can see it is still alive. It is still blooming. 23 years later, look at this. It's incredible how this tree was able to survive that disaster. And Justine says, I broke down in tears when my cousin was in the 31st floor and got out and survived. Wow, that's an incredible survival story right there. That's incredible. Wow. Not many people were able to make it out of those buildings, but wow, your cousin was one of the fortunate ones. So while many folks were able to evacuate the two buildings, those folks that were up above the impact zones, very few of those were able to survive. Actually, there was just no way of getting down and evacuating from those floors above the impact zones from where the plane struck. And Todd says, when I watched the movie United 93, I went home and hugged my girlfriend Mary, and I cried for 10 minutes. Those folks from Flight 93, they are true heroes. They were able to prevent an even bigger tragedy from occurring by sacrificing their own lives. Alright, so once again, this is the survivor's tree. This tree managed to survive the 9/11 disaster. As you can see, it is still alive and blooming. An amazing tale of survival. There are so many countless stories of survival from 9/11. We have another reef right here. Okay, in loving memory of our fallen heroes, from Patrick Hendry and the New York City PBA Executive Board. That is the Police Benevolent Association, by the way, the PBA. The Police Benevolent Association. Okay, and Juice says a pear tree. Yes, I'm not sure what tree it is, but you might be right on that. And right here from the volunteers of the National September 11th Memorial Museum, we will never forget. We will forever remember. Dedicated in honor to our beloved friend and volunteer, Henry Mack. You will always be here in our hearts. All right, so there is the tree once again, the survivor's tree. All right, thank you all once again for joining me during this live stream as we remember and commemorate the September 11th anniversary. This is the 23rd anniversary. Osama bin Laden was killed in Pakistan. Yes, he was killed by the Team SEAL 6. I believe that was their name. It's an elite military member squad. He was killed in Pakistan. That was back in 2011, if I'm not sure the exact year. I believe it was around that time. Osama bin Laden, of course, being the leader of Al-Qaeda. He evaded capture for many years. So as we look around here, the National September 11th Memorial. Many folks still out and about. Hard to believe it's been 23 years since the September 11th attacks. That's a day nobody will ever forget. Just incredible, the amount of sadness and despair, anger, so much mixed emotions from that day. And Jasim says that's crazy. Few crashes in one day. World Trade Center collapsed south and north. The Pentagon. This is so heartbreaking. It is indeed heartbreaking. And I think that's Alan, the homie food and fun. Let me see. Alan? Alan?
Yeah.
Hey!
Hey!
Redstone Pro here.
How you doing?
How are you?
I'm great. I just finished my stream.
You just finished your stream. I'm about to finish my stream.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
I've been here for 2 hours.
Me too.
Wow.
Me too.
Wow, nice shirt there.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is Alan, the homie food and fun.
How you doing, Red Storm?
I'm good. Just taking time to pay my respects here.
Absolutely, me too.
Yeah, it's always a sad moment to be here.
I know.
Always a sad.
I trust me. I
Yeah,
had my share of tears.
You could definitely feel it.
Yeah.
Look at everybody paying their respects here.
Absolutely.
Wow. So how's everything?
Everything is great.
Uh-huh.
How's Tracy doing?
Hey, she's good.
Excellent.
She's back home just waiting for me to finish the stream.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna go find some place to eat.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm starving.
Oh, are you going to the feast tomorrow?
Yes,
The
not
feast,
tomorrow, Friday.
the feast of San Gennaro.
Yes.
Yes, all right. All right, so once again, this is Alan, the homie food and fun. He's a food expert here in New York City.
Absolutely.
He was just doing his own live stream here at the memorial.
And I just got to click end, and there we go. Okay.
How old were you at 9/11? Where were you that day? Do you know?
I was actually teaching at that time.
You were teaching.
Yeah.
It's funny because I was heading to school that day. I was a senior in high school that day.
Oh, wow,
that year.
okay.
And yeah, I remember in the Bronx, I was getting off the subway to take the bus, and as I was getting off the subway station, I was able to see the smoke from the burning towers. They already had been struck by this.
I taught in Jamaica, Queens.
In Jamaica.
Yeah, and from the 4th floor of the school that I taught at, we were also able to see the
You were
fire.
able to see
Yeah.
it. Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know what was going on at the time, but I knew something was going on just by
Right.
looking at all of the smoke.
Uh-huh.
The smoke, the sky was just filled with so much smoke.
Exactly.
I'm like, what just the hell? I was saying, I'm like, what the hell just happened over there?
Right, right.
It wasn't until I got to my first class, it was about maybe 15 minutes later that our math teacher
Uh-huh.
had informed us, oh, did you guys know what happened?
Right.
And I was able to put two and two together. I'm like, oh,
Exactly.
something bad had happened.
Exactly. Yep.
I knew right there and then that
Yep.
we were heading towards war and the world was changing. It was just
That's
crazy.
right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's such a terrible tragedy, to never forget that day.
Never forget.
Never
Absolutely.
forget it. I mean, the amount of people that was lost that day was just staggering.
Right. Right.
And
As
the
a matter
fire-
of fact, I created a new emoji for my members to, it says never forget, always remember.
Yeah, I was walking by. I'm like, is that Alan? So then I went to my stream, my phone
Right.
here, and I saw you were still on.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Nice to see you again, Alan.
You too.
Nice to see you. We got to do a stream.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Maybe-
but I'll be there. I'll be at San Gennaro on Friday. I
You'll
don't know.
be-
Are you going to be there tomorrow? Or?
I'm not sure. Maybe either tomorrow or Friday.
Yeah, I'll definitely be there on
Yeah,
Friday.
and then they
yeah.
have the parade also. I think that's
I
Saturday.
think, is that when it is?
Saturday,
I'm
the,
not sure.
the parade. It's about maybe 2 days after it starts.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Cool.
Nice to see you again, Alan.
You too. Take care.
All right, make sure
Check
to.
out,
Yeah.
don't forget to check out my channel, but stay tuned to
Yes, yes.
Red Storm Pro.
All right, make sure you guys subscribe to his channel. That's
Thank
Alan.
you.
That's Alan.
Hershey's Kisses. Mwah.
There you go. Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you once again.
Thank you.
All right, have a good night, Alan.
Take care.
All right, see you. Okay, so that was Alan, the homie food and fun. He's another streamer here in New York City. He had just wrapped up his stream. So make sure you guys subscribe to his channel. We have the Feast of San Gennaro taking place starting tomorrow here in New York City. That'll be taking place along Mulberry Street in Little Italy. So I will be on for that. Not sure if it'll be tomorrow or let's see, or Friday. So I'll be on one of those days for that stream. So make sure you guys tune in for that. And thank you all once again for joining the live stream on this somber anniversary, September the 11th, 2001. Okay, we have Judy. We have Judy who says, thank you so much for this. Love and prayers from Kentucky. With you now, with you then, never forget. We will never forget those who we lost that day. So many victims here. Okay, so once again, this is the North Memorial Pool. Never forget 9/11, never forget those who lost their lives. Never forget to all of the heroes, first responders who sacrificed their lives in the effort to try to save others. Their memory will never be forgotten. Their sacrifice will never be forgotten. And Henry J says, thank you for the live stream. Love New York. Thank you, Henry. Okay, as we look back here one more time at the North Pool with the tribute in light out in the background there. Soaring high above the heavens. And right here we can see the entrance to One World Trade Center. Okay, as we leave here the National September 11th Memorial. Always a somber mood during this time of the year, during these anniversaries. Thank you all again for accompanying me during this stream here as we take time to pay our respects to everyone lost on 9/11. And let us not forget all of those who have been lost since 9/11 due to illness. Those who have worked here at the site during the rescue and recovery efforts. Many of those have succumbed to illness due to the toxic air, the fallout of the collapse. And hello, Jenny Sue. Jenny Sue, thank you for joining the live stream. All right, so this is West Street right over here. Just be careful, yeah, just be careful with the emotes. Okay, so across the street, that is the Brookfield Place. All right, so we're gonna cross West Street and we're gonna end up in Brookfield Place, which also used to be called the World Financial Center. Oh, I hope that guy is okay. I think he just twisted his ankle there. Okay, so we're gonna head inside here, Brookfield Place, which was formerly known as the World Financial Center. We're gonna head over to the, let's see, we're gonna head over to the Winter Garden. Okay, Daniel Newman says, I was in high school when that happened. I still remember it all. I was in high school as well. I was 18 years old in 2001. It was my senior year in high school. We actually have a section dedicated to 9/11 in the yearbook. Alright, so right now we're inside Brookfield Place. We're walking over to the Winter Garden. The Winter Garden right here sustained a lot of damage as the towers were collapsing. A lot of the debris rained down here, but as you can see, they were able to rebuild it. Okay, and DGM says, thank you so much for the stream. I hope to be back again one day. David from Scotland. Thank you so much, David, for being on the stream. Alright, so this is the Winter Garden. This structure here, as I mentioned a minute ago, suffered a lot of damage during the collapses of the towers, but they were able to rebuild it. And you can see, look how nice it looks here. Not sure if the marina is open right now. I could probably walk over to the marina area. I'm gonna check that out right now. Alright, so let's see if the marina is open here at the World Trade Center. World Financial Center. I think it is, yes. It should be open. Okay, so here we are at the marina. World Financial Center Marina. Or Brookfield Place, that's the current name. And we're gonna look back at the World Trade Center and the Tribune and Lights. You can see the moon is out tonight. And that is Battery Park City. Those are residential buildings, are part of Battery Park. And Todd says, as Tom Beamer said on Flight 93, let's roll. Yes, indeed. And Angie says, you should be a tour guide. Thank you, Angie. I try my best to narrate these streams here. And Judy Thornhill says, what was your friend's name? That was Alan the Homie Food and Fun. Alright, so this right here, this is the North Cove. This is North Cove Marina, which is part of the Brookfield Place complex. And looking back, we can see the Tribune and Lights, as well as the rest of the Brookfield complex, and we can see One World Trade Center up there with the blue spire. And we got Raul just saying hi, greetings to all from El Salvador, Centro America. Thank you for the content. Gracias Raúl y gracias por estar aquí conmigo y con nosotros. Alright, so we're going to walk over here to the river's edge. That is the Hudson River, right up there by the edge. We can see some yachts over here docked. And we have Landon who says rest in peace. Yes, rest in peace to everybody lost that day. And to everyone who we have lost in the years since due to 9/11 illness. Okay. Here we are at the river's edge. This is the Hudson River coming into view. And right over the river we have Jersey City. That is downtown Jersey City, New Jersey. There you go. That's downtown Jersey City. That's also the financial district and Exchange Place neighborhoods. And we can see Newport. That is the Newport neighborhood of Jersey City, New Jersey. Beautiful night here in New York City. And right over the harbor we can see Lady Liberty. That is the Statue of Liberty out in the distance there. Liberty Island and the Statue of Liberty. Let us not forget everyone who sacrificed their lives so that we can continue having our liberties and freedoms here in the United States and across the free world as well. All right, so let's look back one more time at the complex. This is Brookfield Place. We can see One World Trade Center, and we can see the Tribute and Light. Did they just turn the Tribute and Light off? It looks like they might have turned it off. It's not on anymore. Wow, I think they did turn it off. I no longer see it lit up. Okay, so it looks like the Tribute and Light is off. Not sure if it's off for the rest of the night. Maybe it'll be on right before dawn. Normally it would be on till dawn, right about 5 or 6 o'clock a.m. But right now it is off. We don't see it no more. All right, so I will end this stream here. Thank you all once again for joining me during this live stream as we commemorate the 23rd anniversary of the September 11th 2001 terror attacks, which took place here in New York City, as well as in Washington, D.C., at the Pentagon, and in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, with Flight 93. All of those passengers were heroes that day, as they prevented an even bigger tragedy from occurring. So, if you haven't already subscribed, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. My name is Redstorm Pro. It will mean a lot to me if you do, if you haven't already done so. I will be back again for the Feast of San Gennaro, which will be taking place in Little Italy. That starts tomorrow. Although I may not be on tomorrow. If I'm not on tomorrow for that event, I will be on Friday. So make sure to tune in for that. It's the Feast of San Gennaro, taking place along Mulberry Street here in Little Italy in New York City. So, from New York City, the World Trade Center, and the Brookfield Place complex, thank you all once again for joining the live stream, and may we never forget those who lost their life on 9/11. We will never forget. They will always be remembered in our hearts and our minds. So, we can see the Tribute and Light has been turned off. Perhaps that is it for the year. Not sure. So thank you all once again for joining the live stream. I will see you all for the Feast of San Gennaro, so make sure to tune in for that. Rest in peace to all of our firefighters, all of our police officers, rescue, workers, first responders, everyone lost on 9/11. May you all rest in peace. You will never be forgotten, and your memory will live on. So thank you all once again for joining the live stream. I will see you back for the Feast of San Gennaro. Thank you all once again. All right, from New York City, thank you all once again, and I will see you all in my next live stream. Thank you so much. God bless, and I will see you all next time.